everybody, how's it going? I hope y'all are doing well today. Back with another video finally. I know it has been a while. I've got a new car, and given the budget constraints that I had, I think this is going to be the best car that I could have possibly gotten, and I'll explain that in just a minute. It is sort of interesting though, and it's got a lot of quirks that I'm going to go over. I'm about to reveal it. If you're paying attention, you can kind of hear, I'm sure you can hear it, is pretty loud. What's going on right here? It's a lot of chopping. Finally, I've got a V8, and here we go. So here it is. This is my 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium. Premium's not really that important because the door subwoofers for the shaker system don't even work, but that's fine. That's not the only thing on this car that doesn't work, and we'll get to that in a minute. First, I want to show you the car. Here it is. You can probably hear that it sounds pretty loud. It is. I'll explain what all has done to the car in just a second. But first, it is pretty disgusting, and I'm gonna clean it up before I show you anything else. I know I probably shouldn't be using this, and this is gonna make a lot of people cringe, but the paint is already so scratched up and bad, it probably could be repainted anyway. The paint being good is not why I bought this car, so, you know, here we go. All right, almost done, and then we'll have her looking nice and pretty-ish for the full walk around. I've got her all cleaned up. Let's take a quick tour. Of course, when I say I've got it all cleaned up, that's not entirely true because this thing is not ever going to be all the way cleaned up. It's not really worth it, and I'll clean the inside later. Again, the exterior appearance is not really what this car is for. Unfortunately, I did have a little bit of a budget restriction for it. We'll go over that in a minute. I'm going to back it out now. We're going to take a quick tour. There are going to be a lot of dents and paint chips on the tour. That's okay. And then we'll go take it for a drive. When I said I didn't buy it for the exterior, you must assume that I did buy it for some reason. I'm not entirely wasting my money. Well, I kind of am. This is why I bought it. The reason that I bought this car was to do two things. It was supposed to be a daily driver and a race car on a budget. And that's gonna be a pretty hard thing to accomplish since my budget was $5,000-ish. I bought this car on Facebook Marketplace from a guy in Houston for $5,200. And after you heard the sound it was just making, you may think that was a pretty good deal. But trust me, it'll all make sense in a minute. So, just a brief overview. Yes, this is a 3-valve 4.6 liter. No, I do not have a trunk badge. Yes, this is a really, really cheap eBay diffuser. Yes, those are the most poorly installed vinyl stripes in the world. And if you'll notice, there aren't any on the roof. But you can see where there used to be, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. You can see where there used to be louvers stuck onto the paint, and there are no longer. Some of that stuff would not come off. I've got bubbling tint. We've got a nice little dent right there. These are the 13 to 14 style or Axiom Gen 5 LED taillights. Unfortunately, they are fading, but from back here, they look super sick. There's some paint chips. There's some paint chips. Paint chips, paint chips, paint chips. All the bubbles on the stripes. Super faded paint and clear coat problems. We got a curbed wheel. We got another scratch right there. Paint chips, chipping stripes. Let's see, paint chips. And then the car does have a rebuilt Texas title. It was involved in a crash. I'm not really sure when. I'm thinking it was early 2022, but I really don't know. I've seen the pictures. It was this front fender right here and the bumper that got crashed into. Sorry, I'm not good with the backwards camera yet. And I'll show you exactly what it is right here. So you can see next to these scratches, we've got a nice line right there halfway through the fender. where it was repainted and not really matched exactly well. And we've got a nice little crumple right there from where it was crushed in. We've also got another line right there. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that one. Kind of bad fitment with the bumper right here, and I'll explain this in a minute. Don't worry about that. We've got the little chips right there, some more chips, another dent, some really cheap eBay arrow on the front. We've got this right here, so many chips, more scratches on the wheel, and more faded paint right there. And the observant viewer will notice that this is a gray side skirt. And if you haven't seen it already, that is a black side skirt, unpainted. So that's always good. The story with these is that I had to park in a field, and the field was really bumpy, and it crushed my bumper up. You can still see all the lines right here. I bent it back into shape pretty well, but the bumper was kind of loose after that. So I bought this to kind of hold it on, give it a little security, and it did not work because the rubber bands snapped off. So that was helpful. So besides the rebuilt title, there was one other reason why this car was so cheap. Let's see if it pops up. Yep, 191,000 miles. This does have a 5-speed manual transmission, and right here I've got the Hurst shorter throw shifter, which is always good. And I was told that it has a race clutch. I can't confirm the race clutch theory. It does feel pretty on-off, and it is a super heavy clutch, so I wouldn't be totally surprised if it's true, but I haven't actually looked. So other things about the car that aren't great, that was a push button start, and I don't know why someone went through the trouble of installing a push button start on this car, because you still have to turn the key all the way, press the clutch, and then press it. So it really is extra steps for no good reason, but it was having a lot of problems, and it kept killing my battery and everything, so I have removed it for now, and we've got a nice hull right there. We're gonna start a series on this car here, and the series is going to be about whether or not it's possible to have a race car daily on a budget, and my budget is pretty low, so this is going to be my suggestion for that. Appearance is not what I was going for here. This car has a lot of upgrades to it. We'll get to that in just a second, go a little bit more in depth about what's been done, what's going to get done, and what I want to do actually with the car. For today, I want to go over the things that have all been done to this car, and that's going to start with what I actually had to do today. I got a lot of engine codes for the O2 sensors upstream and the intake air temperature, so I replaced the O2 sensors. I just replaced the mass airflow sensor right here. I'm hoping and I'm hoping that that's going to fix it. Gonna clear the engine codes when I take it for a drive here in just a second, and I am hoping that there's nothing wrong with it. So tax, title, registration, sale price, everything into this car was about $5,500, which is why I'm calling this the budget race car / daily. I do drive this every day, and that's going to be a problem pretty soon here because we're having 90-degree afternoons and I've got no air conditioning. The power steering pump also whines a lot and it feels a little weak. It does work and it's not leaking, so I'm not really sure what the deal with that is. I haven't really looked into it much, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little more concerned with the air conditioning at this point. The Central Texas summers are gonna be really bad when I can only blow hot air. I am probably going to have to fix that soon. So as you can see right here, I do have the Ford Performance strut tower brace, JLT cold air intake, Ford Performance dual big bore throttle body, got that spacer right there, and right here, that's going to be about all we can see. I do have higher voltage coils and 47-pound fuel injectors. Underneath all that is a full heads and cams job with the Ford Performance hot rod camshafts. If you're familiar with the 3-valve 4.6 at all, you'll probably know who Lido is. That's a guy that's pretty world-renowned for being the 3-valve whisperer, and he tunes these out of Caracas, Venezuela. I have a custom 93 tune from him. We did the data logging with an SCT X4 tuner, and I'm guessing that this makes around 360 wheel horsepower based on a couple of other YouTube videos that I've seen about cars that are similar to this. I will be planning to dyno it soon and find out for sure whether that's true or not. I've got this aftermarket American Muscle grill on here. I've got the yellow fog lights and some projector LED headlight assemblies that were from eBay. They look to be not super expensive, not the nicest in the world, and that might be a theme that you'll start to notice across the entire car. Cheap carbon fiber appearance window louvers. Here we've got another dent, the GT badge, and these American Muscle 20-inch wheels. We've got red lugs, a red brake caliper, and slotted and drilled brake rotors, which I did all that except the wheels. I have MBRP axle backs. I have some brand of H-pipe with gutted cats, and I have BBK long tube headers at the front. The exhaust sounds absolutely nasty. It is super, super loud, and it's my favorite part about the car. With the Big Ford Performance Racing camshaft, it chops like crazy. Right here in the front, that it does have some canards and a front splitter. They changed the look of the car at the front a lot. I highly, highly doubt that they're functional. They are from eBay. I spent total on all of the aero you can see here on the front, probably like $40. And as you can see, I destroyed the lip leaving a parking lot the other day. So we're not taking this car to Best Buy anymore. Anyway, so that's the introduction to the new car. I hope you guys like it. I'm sorry for the lack of continuity between some of the clips. You can see the numbers on the side of the car appeared in some of the clips, but they didn't in some of the others. I filmed it over a couple of days, and I wasn't quite straight in my head over which clips were going to be where in order in the video. Anyway, so next step is the first drive. I have pretty big plans for this car, and now that I've actually got something interesting to upload about, I hope to actually stick to an upload schedule and get some more videos out a little more regularly than I have before. So if you're interested in seeing more updates on the car, be sure to tune in for those. If you liked the video, please like the video, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. Thanks, and y'all have a great day.